Hey, what's going on, everybody? I'm back at it now. I know I will say it's been about almost 2 weeks since I had some stuff going on. I started a new job, so, I had to, get all that stuff going on. So, with no further ado, we're going to get it going again. I'm going to getting back on to, uploading videos at least 1 or 2 times a week. It's just going to be a little bit hard because I'm working now. But today, we're going to go ahead and do something that's pretty good. I would say pretty big in Japan right now. And it's a sandwich. A lot of people think, well, sandwiches are not really a thing. But don't worry with this. You guys are going to love this. And it's delicious. So let's get going, everybody. Now for this part, you can go ahead and just go buy bread. If you don't have a Asian store around or Asian market, normally you want to buy the Japanese milk bread, but if you don't have it, we're going to go ahead and make it. Or you can go ahead and buy some of that Texas sliced bread, about an inch thick. So here we're going to go ahead and take that milk, we're going to heat it up to about 100 to 105 degrees. Then we're going to go ahead and take the sugar. Once we do that, we're going to go and throw the little babies in there, and we're going to go ahead and give that a good mix up, get everything incorporated, and we're going to set that aside for about 10 or 15 minutes. I'm using dry yeast because I like to make sure it's activated. So while we letting that sit, we're going to make a I can't pronounce it, but this is a way to make that bread real nice and fluffy. So here we're going to take about 2 tablespoons of flour, and then we're going to go ahead and mix 6 tablespoons of water. We're going to give that a good mix up, and then we're going to go ahead and warm this through until it gets nice and thick like this. Now that we got that thick and cooled down, we're going to go ahead and hit it with some salt. Here I used about a teaspoon or so. Then we're going to go ahead and get that a good mix up. Once we got a good mix up, we can go ahead and start adding our wet ingredients. So this dough is going to be kind of wet. Once everything's mixed up, if you need to add a little bit extra to it, that's fine. You want to get it where it's pliable so it's not straight sticking to your hands. So here we're going to add that chusu, I can't pronounce it. I'm gonna keep trying to pronounce it, but go ahead. After we put that in there, we're gonna go ahead and throw our milk in there, and we're gonna go and throw our butter in there at the same time. We're gonna give that a good mix up. Here you can use a stand mixer. I just went ahead, I like showing you guys this way because not everybody has a stand mixer. I have one. I just like doing it this way. I like getting my hands dirty. As you can see, mine didn't come together too well, so I went and added a little bit of flour to it and got it to the consistency that I wanted to start kneading with. So here we're gonna go ahead and dust a clean surface with some flour. Put some flour on your hands. This is gonna keep the dough from sticking to your hands because this is a little bit of wet dough. As you can see, this is quite a bit sticky still, but don't worry. As you knead it and flour gets incorporated more, it'll start to come together and start looking more as a dough for bread. So go ahead and you're going to start kneading it for no more than 10 minutes until you get a nice smooth soft surface. And then we're going to go ahead and get a little bowl oiled up, and you're going to go and let this proof for about an hour and a half until it doubles in size. Then we're going to go ahead and start shaping our loaf. So catch you guys back when I'm done proofing. Almost forgot, you're going to let this proof in a place that is warm between 70 and 80 degrees. Usually what I do, I just turn my oven on to warm or 200 degrees for about 2 to 3 minutes, and then shut it off, and then put that bad boy in the oven, and then go let it proof. Now that our baby is done resting and growing and incubating, we're gonna go ahead and hit that air out of that, and we're gonna go ahead and start making our loaf. So here, you wanna, put a little bit of flour on there, just gonna keep it from sticking because it's still quite a bit sticky, obviously. But we're gonna go ahead and pretty much put this into a little bit of a rectangle, and then if you've seen my other videos with this, we're gonna go, once we get this rolled out, we're gonna take the top half, fold it over to the center, and then we're gonna take that bottom half and fold it back over there, and then we're gonna roll this bad boy just like a cinnamon roll. And we're gonna go ahead and put that into a loaf pan. If you don't have a loaf pan, that's fine. Just something that's not super big, but here, I don't have a super big loaf pan. This worked out pretty well. Then I want to go ahead and put a little bit of oil on the top because we're gonna let this proof for a little bit longer, and I don't want that dough to dry out. So once all this is, you're gonna let it proof for another hour, and it should double in size. And don't worry if it starts to come up and over your little pan, no problem. To me, I like that because it gives it that actual bread look. Ooh, she's looking super thick right now, looking real yummy, real scrumptious. So here, we're gonna take a beaten egg, then we're gonna go ahead and take a pastry brush. We're gonna give it a nice coating on the outside. This is gonna give it that nice golden brown on the outside and keep it from burning. I applied it 2 times. Once, pretty much halfway through, I did it again because I didn't want it to start browning too fast. But if it starts to brown too fast, no worries. Just put some tin foil around it. They'll allow it from cooking and keep it from browning. Now it's time to put this chunky girl into the oven at 325 for about 30 minutes, where we get a nice golden brown skin on the outside. So here we go. I know the hardest part for me when it comes to bread, because I love me some bread, is not touching it or trying to cut it or trying to eat it before it's cool all the way down. We're going to pretty much just set this to the side and get our sandwich going. One of the best things about these sandwiches, think about color. There's an infinite amount of things you can use in here. You can use from asparagus to carrots to cucumbers to, you name it, you can put it on it. Here, I use tomatoes, carrot, zucchini, red cabbage. So here is pretty much just did a little bit of thin slice when it comes to these tomatoes. I kept it simple. Then once we moved on to the orange boys, I just pretty much just cut them into fries shape itself. You don't have to use carrots. I just wanted to use carrots because I thought it'd give it a real nice bright orange color. You don't want too big of fries because, man, this is a sandwich. You don't want to try to overstuff it because it's already pretty stuffed as it is. This big green boy right here, we're gonna go ahead and cut the ends off and pretty much cut them things into fries too. I just thought it gave it a nice look when it came to that green. So pretty much do the same thing as you did with the carrots. Now we're done with the zucchini or green, or not zucchini, I don't know why I said zucchini, cucumber. Same but different. We're gonna move on to the red cabbage. So here you can use normal cabbage. I wanted to use red cabbage because that dark purple that I like on here. So here, you're gonna do a thin slice in here. I just cut mine in corners and decided to use the mandolin. If you don't have the mandolin or you don't feel comfortable using it, and go ahead and no worries, you can use your knife and just do a thin slice on it too. I just thought this would be easier. Now it's time to clean up a little bit. Then I thought about while I was cutting everything, you know what? Make this into a little pickle. So I went ahead and threw in some spicy vinegar with some salt, and I gave that a good mix up and let that sit aside until we're ready to assemble our sandwiches. But next, after this, we're gonna go ahead and get our meat ready here. I'm gonna be using a pork cutlet. You can use anything you want. Use lunch meat, or you can use chicken if you want. Tofu I've seen on there, so go ahead and use whatever you want. Here I had some butterflied pork chops, and then I went ahead and cut around that fat. This is going to keep it from curling up when you put it in the oil. So here I just took some saran wrap, took that pork, and I beat that shit like it owes me money. You know, you want to beat that meat. So go ahead and get it pretty flat. You want to probably about a little bit less than a 1/4 inch. Then we're going to go ahead and get everything ready for our cutlet itself. Now for this cutlet, I used a pretty simple thing. Eggs, panko breadcrumbs, just because I like how dry they are and how much they absorb, and they get real nice and crispy. So here I took 2 eggs, beat them like crisp brown, and then here I want to go ahead and season our flour. I took some salt and I used some of this Voodoo Chef seasoning I have in New Orleans. If you guys are curious about it, if you guys want to try it, feel free. I'm gonna put the link down in the description so you guys visit the website. So after we got that good mix up, we're gonna start battering our yummy pork. When you're doing stuff like this, you want to use the 2-hand method, which if you don't know what it is, you want to do everything with the dry ingredients with one hand, and then you want to do all the wet ingredients with the other. So here I'm using one hand for pretty much the flour and the panko, and then using the other hand for the actual egg. So here you're going to take it in the flour, get it nice and smothered and covered and battered and tattered. Then you're going to go ahead and throw it into that egg wash, get that nice and coated. Then we're going to go ahead and get, everything covered in breadcrumbs. And then we're going to go ahead and set up everything for our pork cutlet so we can go ahead and start frying this bad boy. So here I got a pan. I added about 1 inch to 1.5 inches of oil into the pan here. I'm using I think it's sunflower oil, grapeseed oil, I don't remember what it was, but we're gonna go ahead and heat it up. Oh, also a little trick, if you guys have a wooden spoon, to see if everything is ready to fry, you take the tip of that spoon, you throw it in there, and if it starts to bubble up, then you know that oil's nice and hot and ready to fry. So here you're gonna take pretty much your pork in there, we're gonna let it sit in there, let it in a little bubble bath for about 4 minutes on one side, and then pretty much just get it nice and golden brown on the other. It should be cooked all the way through. Then we're gonna go ahead and put this on a paper towel and get all that oil off, and we're gonna let it cool down so we can go ahead and get ready for the next step, which is doing the eggs. I did a sunny side up egg for both of these. So the key, if you don't know how to make a good sunny side up egg and make sure you get all that white cooked, is you want that pan low first, and then you want it to bring it up very slowly, and you want it to make sure it's cooked all the way through, because if you don't, it's going to be overcooked on the outside and the whites are still runny. So here we got the eggs nice and set up. We're going to go ahead and switch over to Spam. I wanted to do Spam just to try something different. So if you don't want to use the Spam, that's no problem. But I took that Spam and pretty much got a nice color on the outside of both sides. Now that these are ready and got a nice color to them, we're going to go ahead and start assembling our sandwich. For the sauce I put on this sandwich, or for the little on the bread itself, I had some roasted garlic sauce, and then I had a creamy ranch jalapeno sauce. But pretty much this sums up the video, guys. I'm sorry that I've been away for a little bit. I had some stuff going on, just started a new job, so I was trying to get everything set with that. I'm also in the middle of closing on the house, so now that everything's set up, I'm gonna try to get back to my regular videos a week. So hopefully you guys didn't miss me too much. But on the other hand, my videos are gonna get a little bit better now because I got a bigger kitchen. So hopefully catch you guys next time, and hopefully you guys are having a super awesome day. Hopefully you guys come back. Peace.